Today we'll begin with the chapter The Endocrine System in Human Beings, page 57. Now, what is this endocrine system? The endocrine system, as we know, consists of certain glands which, along with the nervous system, controls the total functioning of the human body. That is, it makes the body work together. That is, all the different systems, the digestive system, the circulatory system, the limbs, all together are working in a coordinated manner. Out of this, the nervous system controls certain movements in our body, like breathing, then sensory receptions, movements. Then what does the endocrine gland do? The endocrine gland will control growth and metabolism throughout the life of a human being. Now, what is metabolism? Briefly, let us hear about what is metabolism. Metabolism is a process of producing energy in the human body, and this is done when the oxygen oxidizes the food, digested food in the different cells of the body and produces energy. And this helps to keep the body temperature constant. And this is controlled by the secretion of the endocrine glands. These endocrine glands, what we find is, are secreting a special type of chemical called as hormones, which are being taken to the different organs in the body through the bloodstream and not through any special ducts or tubes. What is a duct? A duct is a tube which carries the different secretions into the different parts of the body, but endocrine glands are special glands which do not send their secretions to the different organs of the body or the cells through ducts, but it is sent through the blood. Hence, we say that they are ductless glands. The endocrine glands are also called as ductless glands, as they pour their secretions directly into the bloodstream to be taken to the different parts and or target organs of the body. So now let us look into what is the details of what is an hormone. A hormone, we find, is a chemical secretion done by the endocrine glands, as I told you just now, which controls the metabolic activities. It is produced in small quantities and does not act fast. Act fast means the action of the secretions of the endocrine glands will be much slower than the nervous impulses. And at the same time, we find that they act only where they are needed, that is, on the cells and organs of the body where they will be needed. And one more thing, they cannot be stored in the body. Once their action is over, they get destroyed. They help to coordinate long-term processes, that is, continuously the endocrine glands, what we find is that, bring about growth and development of the human body lifelong. Now let's look into the next part of this chapter. How are endocrine glands different from the other glands in the human body, that is the exocrine glands? chalkness. The human body has a number of endocrine glands like the pituitary gland located in the head region close to the brain. I'll come back to you in detail. The thyroid gland in the neck region along with the parathyroid gland. The pancreas found close to the kidneys. The adrenal gland which are found as caps on the kidney. And definitely the reproductive glands, that is the ovaries and the testes, which is found in testes in male and the ovaries in females. Now we will go into detail about that. Before that, let us see the difference between endocrine glands and exocrine glands. The other glands in our body are called as exocrine glands. Why? And what is this endocrine glands? The endocrine glands, just now I mentioned to you, is that they pour their secretions, that is the chemical hormones, directly into the blood. While the exocrine glands, the secretions are called as enzymes and not hormones. And these enzymes are sent through ducts or tubes to the different organs where they are needed. So to begin with, the first difference between endocrine and exocrine glands are So the first difference is that the endocrine glands are ductless glands. They secrete the chemicals called as hormones directly into the blood, and the bloodstream carries it to the different organs or parts of the body where they are needed. While the exocrine glands have got tubes or ducts which carries the enzymes secreted by them to the different organs. Then next is the endocrine glands. The moment we find the hormones are secreted, it takes time to reach through the bloodstream. So definitely the action is much slower. While the secretion, which is being done by the exocrine glands in the form of enzymes, are carried by the tubes, the ducts. Hence, we find that the level of action is much faster in the different organs. And so for this reason, the moment, for example, digestive juices are secreted by the gastric glands in the stomach, the process of digestion immediately begins in the stomach. But in case of endocrine glands, suppose the hormone secreted by the thyroid gland has to be taken for metabolism to certain other parts of the body, will definitely take time because the bloodstream is carrying it. So once again I repeat this difference, that the function or the action of the hormones is much slower, while that of the enzymes secreted by the exocrine glands are much faster. The third difference, now let's look into the third difference. The time duration of the action of the hormones is long term. Example, growth. Suppose a person has become tall, definitely it is for a long period of time, or he's a dwarf because of the undersecretion of the growth hormone. Then in that case, it's a long term effect on the human body. But the enzymes secreted by the exocrine glands have got a short term effect in comparison. So that is the third difference. Now let us look into some of the examples or some of the names of endocrine glands in our body, like pituitary gland, thyroid gland, adrenal gland, etc. While that of the exocrine glands are, the common exocrine glands we all know about is salivary glands in the mouth, gastric glands in the stomach, sweat glands found under our skin. So these glands, as we know, are glands which send the enzymes secreted by them in through the tubes to the different parts of the body. So we find that these are the main differences between endocrine and exocrine glands. After this, we next move on to the different endocrine glands in the human body and the names of the hormones they secrete and what will be their effect on the human body. The pituitary gland or master gland is found in the head region very close to the midbrain and is extremely important because it controls the activities of all the other endocrine glands, hence known as the master gland. And what does it secrete? It secretes a hormone called as the growth hormone. And this growth hormone will control the overall development of the human body. If the growth hormone is over-secreted, a person becomes a giant, very tall. But on the other hand, under secretion of the growth hormone will result in a person becoming a dwarf. So we find that this is very important, the functioning of the growth hormone, because it controls the development of the human body. And as I said, over secretion of the growth hormone will make it or make the person very tall, a giant, while under secretion will make a person a dwarf. So it controls the overall development and growth of the human body. Followed by that, we come to the next one. The next endocrine gland is the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is situated in the neck region, very close to the windpipe, and is one of the most important endocrine glands in our human body. It is made up of two lobes connected by a small part called as the isthmus, and we find it secretes two hormones. And what are the two hormones it secretes? The two hormones it secretes are thyroxine and calcitonin. And what does thyroxine do? Thyroxine controls the total cellular metabolism. That is, how much oxygen will be used by the cells to produce energy. And this also controls the body temperature. Once again, I repeat, thyroxine controls the overall cellular metabolism. That means if it is produced in less quantity, there is less cellular metabolism, less energy being produced, more food is accumulating in the body of the human being, and the person may become fat. On the other hand, if too much of thyroxine is produced by the thyroid gland, we find that the rate of cellular metabolism increases and the person may become too thin. So, under secretion as well as over secretion are both bad. It has to secrete the right amount of what you call hormone, the thyroxine. Once again, I repeat, if the thyroid gland over secretes or under secretes the hormone called thyroxine, then the person may either become too fat or too thin. So, the correct amount of thyroxine needs to be secreted by the thyroid gland, and for this reason, the body needs a good quantity of iodine for its functioning. So, for this reason, the deficiency of iodine in the diet will lead to low thyroxine production, that is less, and results in hypothyroidism. The person may become sleepy, sluggish,